Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual View. It is Thursday, July the 10th, 2025. And wherever you are in the world, welcome. And we see lots of you in the chat joining. So thank you so much for joining us. And this evening, we have the beautiful Jen from the Awakened Jen, as well as the gorgeous Wendy and the most amazing Denise from Spirit Dragon Tarot. Joining us. I know I'm in rare form tonight, and I'm Sari, and we are your co-hosts this evening of the Spiritual View. So just a couple of announcements, and we will get started. And we are missing our partner in crime, Dawn, who is in another time zone right now. So we hope that she is sleeping. And again, Dawn, we are sending great blessings to you during your travels. And for those of you joining, if you would like a card pull this evening, we would ask you to put a heart in the chat so that we can pull as many cards as we can for our viewers. Just a reminder of a couple of things that we've posted this week that you might have interest in. We did the 7/7 portal ceremony on Monday of this week on the 7th. There's a really nice meditation and program. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, it will be up and it's posted. As well, we had a full moon in Capricorn ritual on July the 9th, yesterday, that was posted. And the energy of the full moon is still very strong. So you still have 48 hours to do the ritual. We went through setting intentions of what we wanted to release. And we had conversation around what that might look like for each of us. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the full moon in Capricorn, it is a really great video, and it still will resonate for you because the energy is still very strong for this full moon. So we are delighted that everyone is here. So just a big shout out to everyone. And we are going to start this evening, our usual. We've made it through the end of the week. We're almost to Friday. So we're going to invite everyone for just a moment where we are going to do a clearing. So I would ask everyone to close their eyes and just to get settled wherever you are. And we're going to take a couple of nice, deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Let it all out. Again, in through the nose. Big release out through the mouth. And as you continue to relax and take some nice, deep cleansing breaths, notice your body settling. Feel the surface beneath you. Allow your shoulders, your jaw, your hands, your legs. Allow all this just to relax and soften. You're releasing lots of tension from the week, so just let it go. Just relax. And we're going to imagine that above our heads, we have this brilliant golden light that begins to shine. It's about 2 feet above our heads, the soul star chakra. And imagine this light moving closer to us and flowing towards us as a glowing archway, a portal shimmering with sapphire, gold, and violet. It pulses with the vibration of truth, with intuition and divine timing. Allow this energy, this gold, beautiful light that shimmers with sapphire and violet, work its way all the way through our chakras, cleansing and balancing, starting from the crown and moving all the way down through the root, through the legs, and connecting us deep with Mother Gaia. Feel the groundedness that Mother Gaia brings us, and relax and know that you are safe, you are secure, and you are grounded. And as this beautiful light works its way up once again through all of our chakras, just cleansing and aligning, look at this archway that is in front of you, this glowing archway. And this serves as a portal of light, a portal of divinity, a portal that allows us to step into our power. As you look on the other side of the portal, you can actually see energetic keys floating in the air, shimmering with beautiful colors of light. This evening, we're going to step through that portal. And I'd ask you to reach for whatever key and color of the key resonates for you and grab that key. These keys are unique to each of us. Each one holds a gift, an insight, a memory, or an ability that you're now ready to reclaim. As we are releasing all these old timelines and ancestral lineages, karma, and we are clearing all this as we move into the new. And as we are stepping through this portal, we are leaving behind the old. And these keys represent the beauty and the power of each of us. And as each of you hold a key, that key becomes part of you. And the message is that we are the keys, and we are who we've been waiting for. Rest in this beautiful energy. Absorb the keys. Absorb this beautiful energy of new and release of the old. Let's take one last deep breath in and release. And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back into your body and open your eyes.
Okay. Are we ready for me? All right, so I'm going to be trying to take over Dawn's spot tonight, but I cannot feel her shoes the way that she does, so I'm going to do my best. But we're going to be talking about the full moon in Capricorn and Uranus moving into Gemini. And let's see, I've got... Tonight we gather under the light of the full moon in Capricorn, and this one carries a profound weight, not the weight of burden, but of purpose, of becoming. This full moon is a checkpoint, a reckoning with the systems that we've outgrown, the structures that we've clung to, and the stories we've told ourselves about who we need to be in order to be worthy. Capricorn is the sacred architect. It asks us, what are you building, and is it true to your soul? For many of us, this lunation comes after a season of deep karmic clearing. Soul contracts have dissolved, masks have fallen, and in the quiet that remains, a new identity is rising, one that remembers who we came here to be. I've been seeing angel number 321 over and over today, which is a countdown from the universe. It's a signal that the time of preparation is complete. And then also all week long, I've seen angel number 122, which is whispered of a new foundation being laid, not from hustle, but from healing. And while the full moon calls us into our inner authority, there's also a bigger shift unfolding. Uranus has entered Gemini, ushering in a 7-year cycle of mental revolution and truth speaking. It's asking us to think differently, to speak more honestly, and to break free from the limitations we placed on our voice and our vision. So we're standing at the intersection of structure and revolution, legacy and liberation, death and resurrection. And I want to open this space tonight for all of us, not just to process, but to claim it. This isn't just a full moon, it's a line in the sand. And what we choose to release or resurrect under this moon echoes into the next chapter of our lives. So I want to bring in the rest of the panel now for a collective discussion, and I want to hear what's rising for each one of us. And so we've got some questions that I'm going to be asking of all of you, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to start with the first question is, what truth is this full moon revealing about the legacy that you're here to build, and what needs to be released to fully step into it? Let's all back onto the screen. I'll start with you, Suri.
Okay, I'd say, woo doggies. The message has been very clear, and I think I've shared in my video last week. And I'm not typical around sharing a lot of family stuff, but I've been going through a lot of clearing of soul contracts. So stepping into my truth, I've known what my spiritual journey was, and I've been on it for a number of years now, probably about 7 years. And I'm so grateful to be stepping into my gifts. But what that means is there are many around me, and in particular, my birth family, who are not positive influences in my life, who tried to keep me in an old belief system, in an old role that I can no longer play. And so I have had some tower moments in the last couple of weeks, some real slaps from the universe, of some endings of some soul contracts. And oftentimes you may get these where your friends or birth family or whoever it is might just be released and quietly float away. Well, universe isn't doing that with me. It's like slapping me upside the head. And I think it has to be that way, I guess, for me to learn the lesson, or maybe that's what I agree to. So I'm ending a lot of soul contracts, which were trying to keep me back in the old energy, the old roles, the old belief systems. And people have been very harsh and judgmental, and that's their choice to do that. But I've had to separate my energy to keep my spiritual gifts and my energy intact. And so as harsh and as awful as it's been over the last month, it's been a slog of a year for me, but I'm getting on the other side of it, and I am so grateful for the lesson. And and I really appreciate everyone listening, because it has not been something that I could share with a lot of people. So that would be what I have had to release, but also what I am building. And being part of this channel means everything. It's kind of kept me sane.
I think the truth has been revealed so much in so many people just in the past month. Like, the truth of who they really are has come out, and it's like in ways that you can't unsee it. And I think that there's a reason for that, like what you just said. I mean, there's a reason why it's so strong. It's so you won't ever go back, so that you fully cut that cord and you will never go back.
Well, and for those of you that don't know, Jen and I grew up in towns, 20 minutes from one another. And I was in town last week or week before, and I was able to have a little bit of a brief, I guess, energy zap of goodness by having coffee with Jen. But she was able to see real time just the truths that were coming out. So she was in the moment with me, helping me process it. So for anyone that's going through family stuff and letting go, it's not easy, and you just have to hang in there. So
we'll move to Wendy. Would you like to share?
Oh boy. Well, in a lot of conversations I've been having lately, I think it's been thinking about kind of generationally, and like I feel like I'm having to break a lot of cycles, right? So that like my children's generation will not only not have to break the cycles themselves, but then they will have tools to actually create change, like the positive change that they want moving forward. So I feel like with my generation, it was more like having to go through like the survival of it all, right? Just to be able to say, yeah, I don't ever want to, like, I don't want to continue this. I don't want anyone else to have to go through the things that I've gone through. So really, yeah, breaking those cycles, but not really having the tools to know how to build things and change it to make it better. So just kind of stumbling through that part, but in finding those things that work and then having those conversations, it really makes it so it'll be easier, I think, for them. And it gives me really great hope for their generation to really make some strides, in change, positive change. I've also been having to kind of step up in more of a leadership kind of role. A lot of the messages I've been getting over the last few weeks, I feel like have been for me as much as anybody else, and having to also really work on self-care and making the time. And I know I'm really, really bad about that. And so I'm trying to work on that. And I'm trying to do I'm trying to do like a meditation every morning, even if it's just 5 minutes, like as soon as I get out of bed, before I even, go brush my teeth or anything, I just get out of bed. I have this big round pillow. I sit down, maybe light a candle and then just kind of, let myself get into this meditation. And something that was really cool with it this morning was it was all about vibration. And I was just kind of allowing, asking like Archangel Michael to kind of show me my truth, and it's like I could feel this like this beat, like this almost chanting energy, right? And then it's like it almost kind of took me through time, like kind of this time loop of and it's like I suddenly had this like insight and understanding of why like tribal medicine men would like sing and chant and dance, and it's like it's building this vibration, and there's just rising up, and it's just it was really unexpected. I wasn't expecting that, and it was a really, really cool experience. And I feel like it's primal in us, like that, to have that vibration. And I think that's one of the reasons that like music and dance and those things, it's like it's just so universal. It's something that we all connect with, and nature. And I know like with this full moon, it's so much about grounding and having that earth energy and just really, being kind of at one with the energy all around us and the universe. And it really hit home. It felt very strong. And I felt really good coming out of that meditation. And I wish I could have held on to the energy longer today, but it felt very, very profound. And so I think it's just, we're learning the lessons, I mean, like how you were talking about, like it's been really hard, and we've been going through so much, and things are starting to get better, but we're still in the muck and the yuck of it all. And so it's like we're starting to have some good moments and good days and really good revelations and things popping in, but still a majority of the days are just so hard, and I feel like so many of us are just feeling that just complete burnout. And so it's like self-care now is so much more important than I feel like it's ever been before in my life, and so so I'm trying to build that in my daily to make it just make things better, to be able to move forward, to be able to accept the new gifts and the new things that are coming in. Because like for me, I'm really focusing more on mediumship now, right? And I'm trying to hone my skills, which it's like I've had this connection with, energies beyond the veil since I was very, very little, but I hadn't really honed the skill. And now it's like I'm learning, and I'm working with it more. But with all of this other crazy chaotic energy that's around me, it's really hard to focus on that a lot of the time. And so I feel like, having these kind of bringing these daily practices, I feel like that helps to kind of, you get your focus, and it helps really in knowing where you need to focus and shift your energy to. And I feel like, the more we do it and the more we actually do the self-care and raise our vibration, it will get easier. And it's all, relative. It's all time. It's just going to take time. And we keep saying that and like, well, when is it going to get better? But it's just, we're constantly learning and growing. And yeah, so I try to really focus on those positives and appreciate and have gratitude for the things that I have and that I'm building. And it's amazing when we're having the conversations. And I think it's great that we should all be having these conversations, because we are so much more connected than we realize,
Well,
um,
I think when we were talking earlier and just really being honest about how burnt out we all were feeling,
yes.
that was actually helpful. I mean, it was helpful for me because I didn't feel so alone. I felt like, okay, no, we're all actually trying to ride the same energy. And I mean, and it's hard on all of us. And so that helped relieve some pressure off of me. So I was glad that y'all were at least, vulnerable like that. And you're being vulnerable here, too. I just, one of the things that I wanted to say about just what you had just said about the getting easier, like I had said before, it is better, but yet the bad was so bad. Like, we really need to acknowledge what we really just went through, and that it does take, because the 3D is real. We do have to work our way out of that. Right. And so we have to give ourselves the grace. And the other thing is your meditation. It felt like a calibration, like what you were describing, the pulse, like a calibration of your system. So that was just beautiful. I love that you shared that.
Yeah.
All right, Denise.
I almost pulled a Dawn and didn't hit unmute. But speaking of Dawn, okay, so I am not an astrologer, but Sari will attest that somehow astronomy and astrology is in my past. So I'm just gonna say that from what Sari said and what Wendy said, astrology has an explanation for it. And it is that Uranus is in Gemini and it's currently trining Pluto in Aquarius. And that energy is going to stay until May of 2029. And those outer planets are all about generational change. So Wendy, you're doing it, right? You're living it, and you're like, okay, I'm taking care of this because I don't want this anymore. And then as far as we spoke about it before the live, that we were all raised to not put ourselves first, to put ourselves last, and this is what you do. You don't question it, you don't feel, you don't do this. So some of the themes for this full moon in Capricorn are, because of Capricorn, balancing work and personal life, and that's what I've been doing. Actually, I've probably been doing it for the last 5 years, and so now I'm realizing that it's time for me to retire. And I've been grounding myself every morning, like Wendy. I have this morning routine, and it's definitely helped me a lot. And then I'm transforming my energy. I'm going from one type of public service to another type of public service. But as Jen will attest, I tell her all the time that I have less time not working than I did when I was working. So it's just crazy. But so those are things that I'm going through, and it's hard, it's scary, right? And I just have to put myself, or make sure that I'm worthy, right? I am worthy. I am the high priestess. I am in charge of my own life. All those things that a lot of us have talked about on this channel a lot. And I know some of the ladies that are in the chat have talked about it. I've been on different forums with them, and we just have to stay strong. We just have to, it is going to get easier, or it is going to continue. This, what is it? Pluto in Aquarius is for the next 19 years. So this is a 19-year transformation. This Uranus in Gemini hasn't been here for 84 years. So, you know, we're like the first generation to feel it. Kind of. I mean, there's some other people, whoever's 84 and younger. And then it's just a lot. So we just have to be patient. That's a lot of the readings have been coming out. Be patient, trust your intuition, ground yourself, self-care. I want to say that Dawn talked about it in her reading on Monday, that, and I mentioned it in my 7/7 portal thing, is we're all on some kind of path, but it doesn't matter what place you're or where you are on your path. You're not behind if you're, you know, like I'm not behind Wendy because maybe I'm not as far as Wendy, because everybody does everything in their own time. Just like you can't compare traumas, right? Your trauma isn't worse than my trauma. So let's never do that. We just have to be, this is what this fifth dimension is all about, right? Being more empathetic, more compassionate, more loving, and more accepting. So yeah, it's a lot. But I'm glad that I have this little community, and a lot of people in this community come to my channel, and I love that. And I go to theirs. There's several people in the chat who have their own stuff or their own channel, like Ruby and Tourmaline Tarot. And so we just all share, and we all have something to offer. And it doesn't matter if you read cards or not. You might just say something and then that's going to click for me, whatever it is. Or I might say something that's going to click with you. So that's kind of like, I guess, what I've been going through.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're going to go ahead and move to the collective reading now, right?
Oh.
Okay. And so we're going to start with Wendy.
Okay. So our question was, what sacred truth is rising from the ashes of the past, and how can we root it into the legacy life we're here to live? I pulled from the Starseed Oracle, and I got Star Bathing, Light Body, Crystal Grid Transmission Activation. And for me, when I first saw this, I saw activation, I immediately thought of like all of the kind of awakenings that have been happening for people, and, you know, and new gifts coming in, and how it can feel really overwhelming, especially if it's not something you've ever like dipped a toe in before, you know, and it can really, you know, kind of upend things for you, but it happens for a reason. And, you know, we've been talking about that with, you know, the collective needs all of us. There's a reason why these awakenings are happening, why these gifts are coming in, is because they are needed, right? So it says, the stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. And all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. So if you pull this card, you may be called to begin working with the stars and the crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies into the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on Earth, or to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the Earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It also can mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. So that's really cool. That kind of goes in with what I was talking about with my meditation this morning, is having that vibration and kind of it feels almost like being a tuning fork in the universe, like, oh, okay, so this is the vibration I need to be at to attract that the same vibration to me, so that I know I'm doing what I'm here to do. So that's pretty cool. And for how we can root it into the legacy we're here to live, I think just kind of going with it, accepting it and not being afraid of it. And, really just kind of trusting yourself and trusting your gut and knowing that it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Okay. So I'm going to pass to Jen.
Okay, so I have pulled with the Resurrection Oracle, and what sacred truth is rising from the ashes of the past. I thought this was pretty on point. It's the return to innocence, and it's like that childhood wonder is coming back. And so once we've really worked through all of the karmic clearing, that's the part of us that's starting to kind of come out of hiding. And it's come out in a lot of messages that I've had recently, just where there's a lot of inner child healing that's happening. And it's just like, I can feel like the little children in there are just screaming to come out. And like they're like all the things that have been going on like this year with all of the karmic clearing, it's like you can feel like the pecking that's happening of like the walls that have been protecting that little child in there. And so it's like all of those things, even though it felt like it was something bad, it was all trying to break this little child free. That's what I've been feeling with all of that energy. And that's what I think that this card is kind of telling us, that's being reclaimed with this time. So it's return to innocence, find wonder. Remember being a child filled with wonder and joy, in awe of the simplicity of everyday things, with a sort of blind faith and trust in everything that you knew. This is your reminder. Today, find that wonder, that way of looking at the world through a child's wide eyes, and return to innocence. And so it's just, we're getting to see life through a new lens again. It's not through the trauma lens anymore. We've cleared the trauma, and now we can see things for how they really are. And we're releasing those old stories of how we wanted them to be, and we're seeing it for how it really is, so that we can build on truth instead of on the false distortions that were there to begin with. All right, so moving to Suri.
Okay, so I geeked out on decks this week, so I've got a new deck, and this is from the Past Life Energy Oracle. And of course, it says, what sacred truth is rising from the ashes of the past? And ladies and gentlemen, some of you are being called to bring forth your shamanic energy and your healing energy. And whether you call it being a shaman or just an energy healer, it says it's time to awaken to the healer within. Not only do you have the memories of past life curative powers, you also have the light and vibrant flow of divine consciousness moving through you. Now, the recommendation is, first, we must focus on healing ourselves and being conscious of any imbalance in our thoughts and our behaviors. So I think that speaks, Wendy, to some of the things that you've been talking about that we've all been discussing that we're clearing. So part of this timeline shift is that we're clearing these ancestral timelines in order to let the natural healer in us to come forth. So you may have had, for some of you listening, you may have had past life pursuits in healing. And there might have been many modalities of healing through different incarnations. So if you're being called, or you feel the pull to be a healer, whether that be an energy healer, a shaman, a way shower, or just being a beacon of light for others, that itself is healing. And we are asked to come forth as leaders to Wendy's video. And if you haven't watched it today, it's all around stepping up in leadership, and that we oftentimes don't have the answers, but we can be vulnerable and we can share our learnings and experiences, because those are very healing for others as well, because we're all in this together. So some very beautiful shamanic energy coming through from past lives, and to be activated within each of us. And with that, I'll pass it to Denise.
Thank you. Hello, everyone in the chat. So I pulled from the Gaia Oracle, and I pulled Harmony, power, self-confidence, and productivity. So I'm feeling this is answering more, how can we root it into the legacy life we're here to live? It says this card heralds a period of inner and outer harmony. In the coming months, you will feel an increased sense of self-confidence, which will result in greater productivity. It is as if you have learned to harness the primal forces of nature and were able to channel this energy in a powerful and meaningful way to achieve your goals. Your guiding stars are harmonious alignment at present. This is a fortunate time for you, and this period will continue for several months. Be mindful of the power that you have at present. Honor it, respect it, and use it wisely. What you learn in this time will help you greatly in the future. So we're always talking about balance. We always need to balance, just like the full moon in Capricorn, balancing our work life with our personal life. And I was drawn to look at the bottom card. And so I did, and it came up number 39, which is perception. And the harmony card is number 3. So both of these are 3s, because 39 is a 12, which is a 3. So it's about that divine feminine energy, right? That allowing and receiving and trusting our intuition and just being open to what's coming in. And the first couple sentences of that perception card is, the lady featured on this card looks directly at the observer. She radiates love and wisdom, yet stands firmly in her own truth. From this standpoint, she is able to see beyond the veil of illusion. She has shown up in your reading today to reflect these same qualities within you. You are advised to stand your ground with regards to a particular person or issue. Stand within your own truth and don't be swayed by another's beliefs, opinions, or views. So, like last week, I believe it was, shine your light, right? You have so much to offer, and you need to stay strong and just be that leader, like Wendy was saying. You know, even if it's just for yourself or for, I was in the military, and I always talk about my little sandbox, right? I take care of my little sandbox. So that's what I'm getting from this. So I'm going to pass it back to Wendy.
Oh boy, it's already my turn again. Okay. So now we're just going to be pulling cards for those of you watching with advice from Spirit. And I got pulled to KT, and I pulled a card from the Cosmic Journey Oracle, and I got the Phoenix rises into joyful abundance. And I think that's pretty cool. So, you know, kind of a rebirth of sorts for you. And it's going right in line with everything we've been talking about tonight. So here's the excerpt. It says, "It is time to surrender your former smallness to your destiny of greatness. Are you ready to fully step forward into the total transformation of your business, your life, and your legacy, knowing you won't be the same again? It's a scary thought because our identities are so closely aligned to who we think we are with our existing business or previous accomplishments. But all of that is just R&D for what lies ahead. It's not about starting over. It's about taking everything you've developed, built, researched, succeeded with, failed at, intuited, struggled through, and overcome, every relationship you've nurtured, every network connection made, goodwill cultivated, reputation built, skills developed. It's all brought you right here and right now to this moment. And like a phoenix rising, your emergence into joyful abundance is inevitable." So just going back to, you know, everything that you've been through, it's been, you know, for a reason to bring you here to be able to share that experience and to move forward into a better future. You've been learning lessons, you know, you're taking care, you're changing course, you're all of your cultivated experience, right, And yes, you will change. Change is inevitable. But it's because of everything that has brought you to this point, you can now move forward in a direction that you want. It's like you kind of realize that you have a little bit more control over your future and where you're headed than you maybe ever thought before. So have grace and gratitude and respect where you have been and honor that by moving forward positively and with abundance and joy and love in your heart. I hope that resonates for you, KT. Moving on to Jen.
Okay. I have pulled for divine timing, and I pulled with the guides from the hidden realms for you. And I got the card, every word has power, education, power of persuasion, communication, internal dialogue. And what I got just right away is like, you have something that you need to share. And the people around you do not want to hear, like, okay, let me get grounded enough to say it. So it's like the family around you is what I'm getting. Your family around you will not have the hard conversations that y'all need to have. And so like, I feel like that this card is telling you that there is a way for you to have this conversation, that you have the power to have to speak what needs to be spoken, but there's a way that you need to do it. And so we have every word has power. Words provide a meaningful container for our thoughts, intentions, and overall energy. Every word we say, whether aloud or silently, resonates with an influential frequency, sending out a signal that connects with its counterpart in the material world. How we communicate is reflected by the infinite intelligence within the surrounding field of energy and the people who are influenced or impacted by what we say. Right now, you have a lot of power, and your words will either support someone or catapult them into chaos. Be mindful in how you approach others and be as neutral as possible. You are not responsible for other people's triggers, but use discernment and compassion as you communicate. Even when setting boundaries, kind and respectful words have the most power. Diplomacy and tact go a long way when so many are feeling vulnerable. Be clear about what you are saying and ask for clarity from others. In every word, there is either a sword or a magic wand. Choose the wand. And just as I was reading this, I was getting the energy of the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. And so it's like, that's the difference here of how you're going to be approaching this. Instead of coming in all Queen of Swords, like, you know the truth. I mean, and you're not wrong about the truth. And it's like, but you can't be that direct with these people because they're going to take off running if you try. And so it's like, you've got to balance the truth with the compassion that comes in with the Queen of Cups energy too. So it's like, that's your sweet spot. If you can find, you got the truth, you know the truth, and you have to share the truth, but you've got to do it in the way that still holds the compassion and the love for the people that you're sharing it with. So I hope that helps. And I'm going to move forward with Sarit.
Okay. And I felt drawn to, I don't know if it's Sheza or Sheza. Hello. And I pulled a card for you from the Angels and Auras Oracle deck. It's a new deck for me. And I pulled this beautiful card, Sheza, of the law of attraction. And this is all about vibration. And I'm going to read you some of the affirmations on this card. My angels are with me always. Life loves me as I am. I am beautiful. I am prosperous. Everything is going to work out for me. And so these are some of the positive affirmations. And basically the message, Sheza, for you is you have been taking action and staying in a positive place. And bravo for you. And this is all around keeping our vibration as high as we can possibly keep it, because the universe wants to give us what we want, but we have to tell it and be clear. But we also have to come from a place of positivity. Things are always working out for me. We want to make sure that you're aware that you are a co-creator with the universe. And that's why it's so important to keep your vibration very positive and very high. Keeping your thoughts empowered and focused is important, but taking action is just as important to manifesting what you desire through the law of attraction. What is the next big action that you're going to take to continue your joyful momentum. And I think it's a reminder for all of us is sometimes we slip into that gloom and doom or lack or fear. And if we're not careful, the universe is going to deliver that. So staying high vibrational and being in this beautiful vibration of love and attracting abundance, attracting love, attracting everything that the universe wants to bring you. Sheza, it's just a reminder, and I think it's a card for everyone. Stay in that beautiful vibration of love. Manifest from a place of positivity and goodness, and you will have abundance of things coming your way. So keep it going. And it's a mindset and a discipline of how we manifest. And it's important to stay in that beautiful high vibrational state that allows the universe to bring us what we really desire. So with that, I will turn it over to Denise.
Thank you, Sari. I was drawn to Angela Banks. And so I pulled from the Angels and Oracles. I'm sorry, the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. And the card that I got was Trader. And it's not like the bad trader, right? It's make connections and exchange information, talents, or support. And it was so perfect with the question that you asked about the new job that's coming up. The trader brings the lessons and energy of exchange. When he appears, he could represent an opportunity to exchange talents, whatever they may be, in order to expand or be about the exchange of energies that come from the universe, or both. The universe operates under the law of cause and effect and is always looking to return to a natural state of balance. So if you are lacking in the feelings of abundance at this time, you are being invited to share your time, your gifts, and your understanding with others. And I think that resonates with what you were saying, that you can't wait to meet the kids, the new people that you're going to work with, and that there's some other people from the past that are showing up. And you were talking about, you've learned lessons and you've been a little bit triggered with some things, but maybe that's why you're going back to some of those people, because you're going to be teaching them those lessons that they need to hear. And they probably have something for you to hear. Like I was saying earlier, we all have something to offer everybody. So I think this Trader card, which is part of the wise ones in this deck. So I hope that resonates with you. And now I turn it back to Wendy.
Okay. All right. So I pulled a card for Lindsay Fry. This is from Oracle of the Fairies. And I got Life Energy. So the happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that needs to be healed. I feel like this is coming through like this is something you maybe have been kind of hiding your light a little bit. And you not only need to show your light, but I think before you can really shine your light for others, you need to have some shown on you. I think this is a sign saying that it wants to come in. So the fairy of sunshine comes with an abundance of life-giving light and energy. So perhaps you've been feeling shy or lacking in confidence. If so, this golden fairy says it's your time to shine. Sometimes we hide our light for fear of being seen and feeling vulnerable. It's quite normal, and it serves, but it doesn't serve us neither spiritually nor physically. So light is always exposing any issues lurking in the shadows that need to be healed and released, and allowing this process to happen. Once those issues are revealed, then there's no need to dwell on them anymore. Then you can recognize them and release them and move on. So definitely, if there's any kind of unresolved blocks or anything like that, it would be don't be afraid to kind of expose them to the light and really take a good look at them, because that gives you the opportunity. They feel like a lot bigger when they're hiding in the shadows, you know, and then you shine the light on it and then you realize, oh, it's really not as scary and as bad as I thought. So, so by shining that light on those things, then it makes it a lot easier to just deal with them and be able to let them go and move on, so that they don't keep you from moving forward in the way that you want and need to. So this process is essential for spiritual growth, and radiating our natural light makes us feel good, and it can inspire others to shine their inner light too. It says, maybe the Fairy of Sunshine is saying you need to get more vitamin D from sunlight. Perhaps a mini holiday to a sunny location is just what the Fairy of Sunshine ordered. I think we could all use a holiday. I know I could. So she may also be telling you that if someone feels like a ray of sunshine in your life, keep them close. Okay, reach out to them. Don't be afraid to bask in their light as well. It can be just as healing for them to shine their light for you as it can be for you to let them shine it on you. And vice versa. You know, you could be called to be a ray of sunshine in someone else's life. So I feel like this is just really saying, you know, clear out anything that you've been maybe afraid to really take a closer look at, and take care of yourself and others. And it's entirely okay to just bask in another's glow for a while. You don't always have to be the one shining your light all of the time. And sometimes by basking in another's glow, it can help you to easier shine your light for others as well. I hope that resonates for you, Lindsay. And I'm going to move on to Jen.
Okay, I have pulled for Joellen. And the card I pulled for you, and I pulled with the gods from Hidden Realms, I think it's connected to us. And so Joellen is actually one of the certified readers, and she is going to be joining us for Wildcard Wednesdays later this month. And I've actually been working with Joellen for a couple of years trying to get her started on YouTube, and we've had some starts and stops. And this card is just like, this is your moment. And so we have rise to the occasion, capability, strength, authenticity, and free will. You are faced with a situation that requires you to step into your authentic power and rise to the occasion. You might have wanted this, but you hadn't yet had the opportunity to stretch into this new version of yourself. The good news is that not only are you capable of what's required of you, but also you've become even more than you know because of all the inner work you've done. Within you is a bright divine light, and it's no longer obscured by your internal obstacles. You are meant to shine. This is the time to choose to step up, take the risk, and go the distance. Spread your wings, knowing it is your destiny and you cannot fail. Surprise yourself. Let go of all of your fears. Take this risk and trust the divine winds to keep you aloft. Adventure awaits. And I mean, that's just a perfect message. And we can't wait to have you with us on the on our Thursday night live and have you just as part of our Spiritual View family. So thank you so much for just even supporting us in this way as well. And I will move on to Sari.
Okay, I am using another deck, third one of the evening, and I'm pulling for Karen. Karen, I hope you're still with us. And this is a beautiful oracle deck called the Talisman Oracle. And the card that I pulled, and I think this actually applies for everyone watching tonight, but this is a beautiful card called Intuition. And you see the third eye right here. And you also see this beautiful scarab, which in ancient Egypt tradition, it symbolizes eternal life and rebirth. And that's what we are all going through right now. And it ties into the themes of resurrection of what was in Jen's video on Tuesday. And so I'm going to read this to you. So Karen, something is being activated, your third eye, your intuition, and I would call it that high priestess energy that Denise referenced earlier. It says you are wide awake and able to perceive a higher level of awareness that helps you recognize secrets and subconscious intentions. The intuitive beetle is using the third eye gate to see through the prism of distortion. The answers you are seeking will come from within you, from your divine knowledge and inner wisdom. Your intuition will help you read people's body language and facial expressions if they are in disagreement with their words and actions. Allow time and space to practice putting your newly found feelings into words, but know that your present situation will benefit significantly from your keen intuition. So in the mantra, it says, I am awake and I see. I am awake and I see. So Karen, you may be in a situation, what I'm feeling is that you may be in a situation where perhaps others around you, whether it be family members or friends, you're in a situation where people have not probably leveled with you or told you the truth about something that's going on. And what Spirit is saying is you have all the answers and you now see and you can discern the truth because you were relying on your intuition and your third eye to help guide you to discern what's really going on. So I think this is for all of us. We are opening up our third eye and we are literally seeing the truth of who people truly are. And there's a phrase that we've been saying for a while. When people show you who they truly are, your job is to believe them. When people show you who they truly are, your job is to believe them. So there is someone around you or a group around you, Karen, and it may be for the rest of you, that you are now seeing who they truly are. And use your intuition and your third eye to help discern the truth. And I think that's a really powerful message. But it says, you got this. All you have to do is pull it from within. And with that, I will turn it to Denise.
Thank you, Suri. And so I'm pulling for Venus. And as I was shuffling the cards, not one, not two, but 3 cards flew out. So you got fire, trust, and home. And I'm going to read a little bit from each. And so for fire, it says, the element of fire can free you from boredom, clear karma, and give you the energy required to take action. And I know that you were going through a lot earlier, Venus. And for home, you are being guided to come back home to who you truly are. Drawing this card can signal a change in your physical home or a sense of where you belong. Pulling this card also symbolizes that wherever or whatever your current situation, you can trust that this moment is in alignment with your higher self. You have not lost your way. So if you were feeling like that, you have not. And so the third card is trust. So, sorry, I have to move my pencil. Step into the unknown. All may not be revealed at this time. Trust in unseen forces. So the universe is asking you to do a lot, Venus. It's asking you to take action. It's asking you to go home, and it's asking you to trust. But I think that you can do all that. If I remember past conversations correctly, you have been asking questions about that. So I hope this helps. I hope this resonates with you. And you always know that you can come back and ask us more questions. And with that, I'll turn it back to Wendy.
Actually, I'm going to close this out. So we're coming close to the hour. And again, such strong messages this evening. And thanks everyone for sharing your stories. And for those of you in the chat, being vulnerable enough to tell us what's going on with you. And we could not do this without you. So we are better because of you. And if you haven't taken the opportunity to like, subscribe, and share, we encourage you to do so if these messages resonate. We are wishing you a safe, beautiful, and relaxing weekend. Please practice self-care. Please take time to recharge your batteries. We'll see you next week on the channel, same bat time, same bat channel. And again, we do daily content, so we'll have a video tomorrow and we'll start back on Monday. Again, we are so grateful and honored that you were with us. Have a nice weekend. And again, sending lots of love and blessings to all. Have a nice evening.